Well, hello, and welcome back to Curless Mania, where we talk all things pop, rock, and prog. Today I'm here to talk about Rush. Just got back from Chicago, and over the weekend, on July 18th to be exact, I went to the United Center and saw the 50-something tour with my daughter Madeline, who is quickly becoming a Rush fan, which is a really nice, surprising event. It started because I took her to the book tour with Geddy Lee when he came to the Fox Theater in Detroit on his book tour, and we went. It was really fun. He was really very cool, as he always is. Gave out the book, the hardcover book, when we walked in. She was so impressed when they handed us the hardcover book of My Effin' Life. And she was blown away. Wow, that's the door prize? I said, yes, that's what we're here for. This is the book tour. She devoured that book. She read the book and really enjoyed it and became more and more engrossed in Rush. And she started to listen to things like YYZ and Tom Sawyer and next thing I know, she likes Mystic Rhythms, and she's listening to Grace Under Pressure, and she likes some of the, I mean, it's crazy. She's like an 80s Rush, and she's getting into Rush, which is really cool. And I think after this show, she's even more of a fan. So I'm going to say this is a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know about the tour, or if you want to be surprised, don't watch this video. So you've been warned. This is spoiler alert in action. Because I'm going to talk a lot about the show. If you want to be surprised, you might not be. So anyway, when this tour was announced, I think there was a lot of the Rush fan population was like, wait, tour without Neil Peart. I said Peart for so many years. It's so hard for me to stop. Peart. Without Neil, I'm just going to say Neil. Without Neil, how is that going to happen? He's such an integral part of that band. How is a Rush tour going to happen without Neil? That's number one. Number two, the last tour, admittedly, there was Geddy's voice seemed a little like he was struggling a little bit. And what was the other thing? And then the price, the tickets of the price of the tickets, which is just generally across the board with concerts now, right? It doesn't matter who it is. Any big name is very expensive for concerts now. So, but you were hearing a lot of complaining about the prices are kind of ridiculous. So, but like I said, any concert, any show, any big show is going to be really expensive now. So that's just a reality of life now. Because believe me, I remember when tickets were $15. You would go see a show for $15. It was awesome. Those are the days. Anyway, we shuffled into the show and took an Uber. Got a little like dinner beforehand. Got an Uber. Got dropped off at the United Center. Stood in line for a little bit. We got into the venue and you start hearing the music. They're playing like King Crimson and Jethro Tull and The Who and all these things, and you can tell it's like the Rush playlist, and you see the 50 screen, and the people are starting to mill about, and you hear people talking, and you start getting, it's like the pre-concert excitement where you start getting excited for the show, and it's not really until that moment that you go, oh, I'm gonna see Rush tonight. And you're starting to get excited. And I will say, this is the third time I've seen Rush. So my first show was the 87 tour, Hold Your Fire. And I was dragged to that show by my friend Rob, who was a huge Rush fan. And he said, Tom, you need to get into Rush. And he took me to that show, and that did the trick. I have to say, after I saw that show, I was impressed. And I was thinking, I think I need to get further into this band. And that started it. That started the ball rolling. And I've been a fan ever since. And I just got deeper and deeper as the years went by. I got more and more into them. And now I'm a pretty huge fan. So then the second time I saw them was the R40 tour, which was the farewell tour with Neil. And we went to New Orleans. Same guy, Rob, from high school, and John Keys. The three of us went to New Orleans to see that show. And that was a great show. really happy to have seen the farewell with Neil. And then this was the third one. So the 50 something one is the third Rush show. So I'm starting to get excited, and I kind of was like wanting to geek out with people that were there, and this guy sitting next to me is being really quiet. So I said, hey man, like, are you excited? Have you how many times have you seen Rush? Because a lot of times these Rush fanboys, they've seen him 7, 8, 9 times. And, oh, I've never seen Rush. I said, what? You've never seen him? He said, no, I've never seen him. This is going to be the first time. I said, well, you're in for a treat. And he was really quiet. He was hanging out with this other guy, and they were quiet the whole show. They barely said a word. We're sitting there jamming out, going crazy, air drums, air guitars. Didn't say a word the whole show. It's kind of bizarre. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So then the video starts, the intro video starts. And as with Rush, always, everything is done well. It's like Pink Floyd. Everything is done. Every tour, they make sure they have the best people. They have a crew that's been with them forever. They know what they're doing, and everybody's high level. I mean, the sound was incredible. The lights were incredible. The videos were amazing. Everything, the lasers, the smoke, whatever it is, everything was top notch. It was very, very well done. I thought it was really cool. They had these like a moving screen that kind of was like going like this up during the show. It was so cool, very cool. And they had tons of cameras on the stage, so you had all these different angles of everybody playing. And I have to say, watching Annika play was so cool. She is a beast. She got the job done. I mean, let's just get the elephant out of the room right now. Of course, it was weird not to see Neil behind the drums. It was odd at first. I have to be honest. It was a little bit disorienting because you're so used to seeing Neil there, and it was somebody different. But they opened up with Xanadu. Okay, that's like one of my favorite Rush songs. And when they opened with that, I was like, oh my god, opening with Xanadu. I love this song, and they nailed it. They nailed it. Played it so well, and by the end of that I was like, I'm sold. That's it. That's all I needed. That was it. Once I saw Xanadu live, and it was so good, and the joy and enthusiasm coming off of it was immediate right away, coming off of Geddy and Alex. They're so psyched to be there. They're so happy to be touring. They know that they've got something, and they've got it back. It's almost like getting something back that you lost, and it's back. They were thinking Rush was, for a couple years, probably thinking Rush was gone. Rush was over. And they were doing different projects and doing book tours and doing books about bass. And Alex was doing, things with another band. And I mean, they stayed in touch, but it wasn't, there was no talk of Rush happening again. So this is almost like something coming back to life, which is just a joyous event. And they were just so on fire and so loved it. You could tell they were loving every second of this show, really into it. And the audience was really into it with them too. I mean, it was, that the audience was with them every step of the way, and everyone was going nuts. So let's talk about the set list a little bit. So I already talked about Xanadu. And then they went into Spirit of Radio, which is, of course, a classic, of course. Then Analog Kid, which I was like, yes, because I love Signals, and Analog Kid is kind of a deep track on Signals. So I was like, yeah, that is cool, like a deep track. I love it. And again, they nailed that one. Loved it. Subdivisions, they also played from Signals, which is great. Bravado was the first Neil tribute. So they have two Neil tributes through the show, and they're both kind of lengthy, and which was so cool. I loved that part. It was so great. And Bravado is the best, one of the best songs on Roll the Bones. And they played that, and that song's already emotional anyway. And then they had this just collage of Neil photos the whole time, just one photo after another throughout their whole career. And it was just so, by the end of it, I was getting choked up. There's no doubt. I don't know how you don't get choked up if you're a fan. It was tough, but it was great. It was also beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was a great tribute. They also had like recordings of him talking and saying things during that, as before and after sometimes as well. Um, that was beautiful. Then Leave That Thing Alone, which is the instrumental from Counterparts. That was really cool. Headlong Flight from Clockwork Angels, which is cool. I mean, although I would have loved, there's a couple of those songs on Clockwork Angels I would have loved to have heard. Like, I love Carnies, and I love the title track, and I love The Anarchist. I mean, there's a couple of songs on Clockwork Angels, like, but still, Headlong Flight was great. That was another kind of a deep track. Then they ended with Limelight, the first set, and then there was like a 15, 20 minute I think it was 20-minute intermission, which was really cool. I mean, they know their audience. It was like a bunch of middle-aged dudes. Everyone's like, I need a break. I need a piss break, you know? And so the line, of course, at the bathroom was like really long for the guys, as usual. But it moved pretty quick, so it was all right. But it was nice to have a little break, actually. Like, I think all of us kind of enjoyed that, like just having that little break. It was good. And then they set 2 started off with 2112. They played the whole thing, which is so cool. And once again, it was pretty spot on. I mean, there's nothing there's nothing to complain about. And then they went into Animate, which is so cool because Maddie was into that song. She had never heard that one before. And she's like, this is a really cool, Dad, I like this song. I'm like, yeah, this is a cool track. I love this song. And sure enough, she's been listening. It's been on her playlist now. She's listening to Animate. She's listening to Counterparts. I said, you just listen to the whole album. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good album from the 90s. And then Passage to Bangkok was really cool. I loved hearing that. Time Stand Still was the other Neil tribute, which always gets me. I mean, Time Stand Still gets me anyway as a song when I just listen to it. Not looking back, but I want to look around me now. And I wish time would slow down. And I mean, that's such a universal sentiment. I think everyone feels that on occasion, where I just wish time would slow down. I'm not being nostalgic. I just want time to go slower. And I just think it just gets me, that song. And then, you know, combining it with a Neil tribute, again, was very emotional. So there was a lot of emotional moments during the show. But then they go into YYZ, and everyone's going crazy. And of course, Maddie and I are like, that's Maddie's favorite song, so we're both going nuts during YYZ. And then they did Anthem, which was really cool. It was preceded by a short story that, you know, Geddy told the story about when they first met Neil and how he was like kind of gangly and had short hair, was sort of geeky and like, oh, who's this guy? And then he gets behind the kit and he just starts blowing him away with he always talks about the powerful triplets that he would play, that, you know, really powerful triplets. And just like, oh my God, this guy can play. And I just love the story about Alex was like, dude, calm down. Like, cause Geddy was getting so excited. Like, it was very obvious how excited Geddy was getting. And they were going to see some other drummers, and Alex was like, calm down, man. Stop telling this guy he's so great. Calm down. So funny. But anyway, so the anthem was they just, chef's kiss. It was so good. The Red Barchetta, that was another one that was really, really good right after that. And then Witch Hunt. So they played like a deep track side 2 on Moving Pictures. It was actually kind of, the set was sort of moving pictures heavy in a way. I mean, but that's like their Dark Side of the Moon, right? I mean, they got to play, I mean, you know, Limelight, Red Barchetta, Witch Hunt, Tom Sawyer. I mean, they played a lot of Moving Pictures, which is, I mean, that's like, come on. I mean, you can't lose playing Moving Pictures, right? So, and then that was Tom Sawyer was the last song they played. And then the crowd was going ballistic. Everyone's going nuts. And then they came back and played 2 old songs from the first record, Finding My Way and Working Man, which they did on the R40 tour as well. And I think the R40 was like reverse chronology. I believe that was the case on that tour. And they, at the end, I remember they showed them playing in a gymnasium with amps on chairs, you know, something like that. The background was a gymnasium, which I thought was hilarious on the R40 tour. And they did something somewhat similar. They had like a cartoon version of the early Rush, and it was kind of cool. They showed John Rutsey, and they showed them like packing up their van and going to another gig, and it was really cool. It was like cartoon Rush. It was really, really cool. I liked it a lot. Um, so they ended it with Working Man, and they said good night, we'll see you again, and everyone was going ballistic, and you could just feel the energy in the room, and they played so well. And Annika, she's a beast. Could there be a higher pressure gig than subbing for Neil? I'm coming in to play Neil's parts. That is very difficult, and she came in and did it with such power and grace. And she was a machine. You could tell when they showed her up close, she was concentrated. She was doing her job. She was there to do a job, and she did it well. And she was very focused and very concentrated, and she was hitting every fill, and people were cheering the fills. I mean, that's what makes me laugh about a Rush concert. She does a fill, and everyone goes, ah, the crowd erupts. It's so funny. Only at a Rush concert, people are cheering the drum fills. But that was just warmed my heart. Something about that is so great that people are so into it that they're cheering that she's doing the fills. It's so funny. That was one of the best parts of the show. And Alex his solos were incredible. He was playing out of his mind. He didn't miss a beat. They both seemed really limber on, I mean, Geddy was nailing on playing bass hard. I mean, throughout the whole thing, he was digging in. And it was kind of cool to see him playing all these different basses too. He had brought out a bunch of different basses. I mean, he owns like 300 basses or something crazy. And he was playing all these different ones, which is really fun to watch, like some Fender stuff and Rickenbacker Fender, Thunderbird. He played a couple different ones. It was cool. And he did play a little bit of keyboard on occasion. He would walk over to a keyboard that they had on stage, and he would do a couple of the keyboard parts too. So that was nice. Like you want to see Geddy do a little bit of keyboard, right? That was good. I was like, I was happy that he did that. So yeah. So was it a great show? Absolutely. It was a great show. I was worth every penny. So if you have any kind of reservations of any kind and you're a Rush fan, I would say go. Don't miss this. It was a fun night, and if you're a fan, you're gonna love it. I mean, there was nothing to not like, besides just the weirdness of the Neil not playing drums. But then they do these 2 long Neil tributes, so that kind of made you feel better about it. Like they're doing these tributes to him, and it was great. It felt like everyone was there celebrating him, so that was great. So yeah, there was nothing wrong. Everything was great. It was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. I was really happy I went. So I think you will be too. But if you went to a show, let me know your thoughts. Oh, I was going to bring up the fact that this was set list B. So I guess there's an A. I don't know if there's a C. And if you guys know, let me know. How many variations on the set list are there? I think the set list A has more 80s stuff on it. It has more like Grace Under Pressure stuff on it, and which in a way, I'm a big 80s Rush fan. I would have kind of enjoyed that, but I have no complaints. I have absolutely no complaints. Don't get me wrong, none. So really enjoyed it. So if you went to a show, I want to know. Let me know what show you went to and what your set list was, and did you enjoy it like I did? I mean, Maddie loved it too, so both of us loved it. So did you love it too? Let me know. I'm curious. I read the comments, so let me know what your take was on the show. I guess that's it. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I just wanted to get on here real quick and give a quick review of the show and how great it was, and how I'm really glad that I went. And if you're a Rush fan, it's kind of a no-brainer. So and again, if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel. I appreciate it. And I think I'm going to I'm contemplating doing a John Lennon solo discography ranking. So that's coming next. So stay tuned for that. But that's it. We'll see you next time on Curless Mania. Take care, everybody. See ya.